Hello, welcome back to my channel, Last time I reacted to things people from other countries found weird about Europeans, and now I'm reacting to American things Europeans find weird, because I want to know that too. Maybe I don't find them so weird, let's see. I want to learn. First I want to make a shout out to the channel. Infomercial it's called. Yeah, go subscribe there, watch him, he makes good videos. Let's start.
If you've ever seen Quentin Tarantino's hit movie Pulp Fiction, you'll know
I have, yes.
in which Samuel Jackson shows his surprise regarding the legality of cannabis smoking in Holland and the fact that the French eat their fries with mayonnaise. Ugh is his reaction to the use of such a condiment. Well, we can tell you ugh works both ways, and there are plenty of things Americans eat, do, believe, and say that Europeans find plain weird. Today, we'll look at some of those things. In this episode of the Infographic Show, American Things Europeans find weird. Don't
Keep it up.
Subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notifications.
Yes, please go there, subscribe. They're great.
Discussed in other shows, not everyone in the world is so draconian about tipping. In fact, in some parts of
Not tipping, don't get me.
I'm
tipping.
Receiving a cold beer would be totally insulting. In many European countries, tipping in some situations can be seen as charity. When visiting the US, many Europeans might find it weird that a waiter or waitress keeps coming back to your table. In the States, it may be seen as just good service, but to some Europeans, it can be construed as someone getting in the way of a good meal. That meal, by the way, could be about 3 times larger than many people in Europe are used to.
Yes, totally yes. I've been 10 years ago, I've been to the United States, Los Angeles actually, and we ate out, my wife and I. She wasn't my wife back then, but don't matter. We ate in a restaurant, and the waiter came back and refilled, like I wasn't even thirsty anymore, but I kept drinking the water because I didn't want to insult the waiter. Later I found out I could just tell him, okay, thank you, I don't need any more water. But first it seemed to me rude to like tell him no, thank you, because it's his job, and like he was so bold, or how to say, very very motivated with his job to refill, and I didn't want to disappoint him. The meal sizes were big, yes, that is true.
In general, American food portions look to some Europeans like they're supposed to feed 2 people.
Yes.
They also seem like an act of largesse to some Europeans when someone keeps refilling their glass of soda or cup of coffee for
what I just said.
In terms of the food itself, as we noted earlier, Americans and Europeans have very different ideas about what goes with what. Pancakes for breakfast with fried chicken? Are you kidding me? Says the traveling European. And what about putting honey on bacon for breakfast? The Frenchman wanted mustard with his sliced beef and tasted something not like mustard, but a sweeter version with less bite. The Italian went to Chicago and in one restaurant ordered a pizza, only to be served what he thought looked more like a quiche or a cake. So, what about when Europeans head to the store? Again, the rather affable smile and general friendliness of
the
staff
not
makes
taxing
someone
included drives me crazy.
where service with a smile is
Like
certainly
how?
no guarantee. In fact, it's been remarked that American friendliness can result in some
Yes.
Europeans thinking something suspicious is afoot.
Exactly.
If that European is in the store to buy a pack of
The friendliness thing also was very weird at the start, because over here if you at all talk to the cashier, you say like hi, and then like bye, have a nice day, that's it. You don't like, how are you, how's your family, blah blah blah. We don't do this. It's, I don't know this person, I just want to pay. Yes, it may be a bit rude or something, but I'm there to shop, not to get the whole family story of that person. So that's why.
Cigarettes or a bottle of wine, they may be extremely surprised when they get asked for ID.
Yes,
That might not have
they
happened to them
always
over a
see,
decade.
yeah.
On top of Europe mainly having laxer laws on age restrictions, IDing people is not such a big deal as
It's
in
not a
America.
thing
Only in
here.
July this year, Oasis frontman Liam Gallagher said he was ID'd in the US after trying to buy cigarettes. He tweeted, "I've just been told I can't buy cigs unless I got ID. I'm 40 freaking 4. Has the world gone mad?" Indeed, in his home city of Manchester,
Yes, if he is
he's probably been
44.
buying his smokes for 30 years without a problem. And then the European looks inside his or her wallet, only to see a bunch of notes that all look the same, all the time wondering how this could possibly
Yes.
make any sense.
The money looking all the same was weird also, and it drove me crazy because you always had like to exactly look what kind of money I have now. Like, is it 5, is it 10, 20, 50, whatever. In Europe we just look in there, we see the color, we take it and that's it, because ours are colored and we know.
Anywhere, which is something many Europeans are still not used to. They
Oh,
may also be unpleasantly
it's
surprised to find out
much
when
more
they do buy something,
common
taxes
now.
get added
Yeah,
on top of
taxes.
what they saw. So they try and get back to their hotel, but have to ask the way. They are told to walk 6 blocks this way and turn left. Only for some Europeans not familiar with the US, giving someone directions using blocks may seem weird. Parts
Yeah,
of
but
Europe were
that's
not built
how.
with city blocks in mind and just gradually spread in a way that makes it
Exactly,
hard to find your way
yes,
around.
what
When
I
they
said
finally
last
do get
video.
back, they settle down to watch some TV, only
And
for some
there
reason the shows
also
are
adds.
interspersed with commercials that seem to be longer than the actual minutes given to the actual
Yes,
content.
we
This
don't.
drives some Europeans crazy. At some
The thing is, maybe you don't know, over here lots of our channels are funded by public money. Like, it's like over here the Austrian national television broadcaster is funded with tax money, so they get money every month from the people, and they fund them this way, and they have to have that's why they also have to have a certain standard. It's written in their like code of business, or how they have to operate, so they can't just like spread any news and stuff, and have to have an open mind and stuff, which is good. And also they have to have news and documentaries and all this different kind of shows, and not just like normal entertainment like movies and TV shows. And then we also have privately owned TV shows. They have advertisement during the channels. They have advertisement in between the shows. The national station is not allowed to cut off their program for advertisement. They can do it after something. For example, over here we like skiing, and we have a big skiing culture and good views on skiing programs. So it would be really beneficial to sell commercials during the skiing phase, but they can't. They have like to wait until it's finished, or before it starts. There they can have commercials at the before it starts, or at the end, not during the actual show. We liked it a lot because you can enjoy the whole thing without getting blasted with ads all the time. Yeah, it's a different kind of system, but it works. And yeah,
some point,
We
you
like
might
it.
come across World Wrestling Entertainment and be quite confused at how some Americans can get so worked up about what to them looks like an act with an ending already scripted. You may have
Yes,
to be an American to enjoy that kind of drama with such passion. Turn over to the news, and depending on the channel, this may also look something like a drama or a soap opera to a
that's
European.
true.
They may easily believe they are watching a news satire. One of the great things in America, though, for some Europeans at least, is the fact that some things are open 24/7. Can't sleep? Just go out. Shopping hours are relatively quite restrictive in many European nations,
Yes,
but in
because
most
we
places in the
care
US and Europe
for the
City, there's always
employees.
something to do or buy in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
In Europe, the BBC reported that London, England, and 6 cities in Spain were the better 24-hour cities. Now we'll visit the sensitive issues of religion and patriotism. World Atlas puts America at the top of the list as the most Christian nation in the world. In the
Oh,
US, on any given day, you
I
might hear the word God or at least see
I would have thought that's the Vatican City, but I mean, okay. The Americans are more religious than the people in Vatican City. Good to know.
signs
Um,
pointing to where you might find him. While parts of Europe are also predominantly Christian,
Yes,
the omnipresence of God in the
lots of
streets
us.
may seem a little overbearing to many of these nations that have forgone church duty. It's
Yes.
the same with flags everywhere. You won't go far in America without seeing the stars and stripes, whereas in Europe, flags are usually designated to the top of poles outside of official buildings. Seeing one planted in a garden may induce a traveling European to believe that he is at the house of a hardcore nationalist, not just someone who is proud of where he comes from.
Sorry for pausing again, but the flag thing, especially in my country, we never show our flag except for like our national holiday, or if there's a skiing ski race where we are winning again, and maybe at football, or as you call it, soccer game, we have the flags out, but that's it. Because of our history, yeah, we don't show the flags as much as you guys do.
Interesting side note, the 2014 survey revealed the most patriotic country in the world was Thailand, closely
Okay.
followed by the USA. While it may
Interesting,
not seem too weird
Thailand.
for Europeans, the fact that some people in the States carry firearms might be scary. Per capita, more people in the States own guns than any other country. While most cops in Europe do carry guns, it's unusual to see a cop in England, Scotland, or Wales
Yes,
carrying a gun.
the
fact
the
that regular
Bobbies
Joes
don't
might be
wear
carrying a firearm
guns.
seems fairly weird to many Europeans. It might not seem so strange to Serbians, who also have a high rate of guns.
Ah,
owned per
okay.
person.
Didn't know
Size
that.
also matters to Europeans when traveling in the States. In America, everything just seems
It's
bigger,
big,
and not
yeah.
just the
It's so-
aforementioned dishes.
it's
The roads
so
and
big.
streets seem larger for the most part.
Because
and
you
if
have
don't
space,
a car, it
we
can
don't
seem
have
hard
that
to get
much
anywhere,
space.
especially in a place
That's
like
why.
LA. The cars themselves seem a lot bigger,
Mhm,
large enough
they
to
are.
crush Mr. Bean in his Mini, and the people inside them also seem big on average, if not taller, then wider on average.
Well,
The skyscrapers are taller, and
not
in general,
true.
American houses statistically have a lot more space than the average European house. One
Not all Americans are bigger. Yes, you have very obese people, but we also do. It just depends on the lifestyle. Yes, your food has more sugar and stuff, or fat, but if you eat unhealthy, you will get fat no matter where you live. So that's that. And yes, your houses are really big. Again, this comes back to the fact that you have lots of space and we don't. So, because our cities grew over time, your cities were mostly built 120 years ago or even earlier. So, that's why you should just use the space you have. We don't have any space, so that's the big difference maker.
survey stated that the Danish had the most living space in Europe, still much less
Okay,
than Americans,
didn't know that.
much more than the Brits, that to Americans,
The Danish.
in their whole house is
Yeah,
smaller than
it's a
their
big
pieces.
country,
It
but
may not be that
not
weird,
a lot of
one might
people.
ask
That
why
makes
everything
sense.
is so big in the US. As for appearance, some Europeans may find the amount of Americans that are continually decked in what looks like gym wear a bit strange, as most are not going
Yes,
to the gym.
we
Other
dress
styles
up.
that are mostly an 80s thing but seem to
We
have
like
stayed around a little
to dress
are
up when we
hairstyles on some
go
older
out
American women.
because
Big
it's
lips
just
and big
polite,
breasts
but
may also be a fashion weird to some Europeans.
also
While in the
I
USA, the
sometimes
president
go
still
out
seems to
with
sport a fake tan. On the positive side, Americans all seem to have such a
Sweat
perfect
pants.
privacy, quite different from those Brits. This was hilariously depicted in an episode of The Simpsons in which the Big Book of British Smiles horrifically demonstrated the apparent lack of dental hygiene in the country. So,
Okay.
what do you Europeans out there find strange about Americans? And Americans, what do you think is weird about Europeans? Let us...
What the only thing I think is weird is not controlling guns, because you have so many school shootings. We rarely have any shooting here, but that's another topic, and it's just different, and I won't discuss this now, but yeah, that's something I find weird, that you have such lackluster gun control laws. But that's only my opinion. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.